How can you stop the influx of foreign workers that are taking jobs away from UK citizens?
Obviously, there's two different sorts of workers coming into the UK. There's those from within the EU, and broadly speaking, there's freedom of labour, freedom of movement within that, and that's not something we can change. However, if the EU does get larger again, I think we'd want to learn the lessons of the last time the EU enlarged, because I think the number of people coming to work in Britain from countries such as Poland and so on was larger than was expected and was quite a handful. So I think we'd learn those lessons and perhaps manage that process more. But in terms of people coming from outside the EU, we very much support the approach that says really it should be first call for British workers for vacancies, so they should have to be advertised through job centres, and really we should only be taking folk from outside the EU in shortage occupations where there's a real skill that we need. But even there, if we identify skill shortage areas, we should then be doing something about it, training up British workers so that in years to come we can fill those vacancies at home.
Our second question, Jeff from Blackpool asks, how can you stop the influx of foreign workers that are taking jobs away from UK citizens?
Well, the first thing I'd say to Jeff is that actually we need to ensure that people in the UK have got the skills that enables them to take the jobs that are on offer. Hence, under our work programme, which would be giving really personalised help to people to get the skills, to overcome the barriers to get into work, that would help people to get into work here in the UK. But we would have a cap, an annual limit on the number of non-EU migrants coming into the UK. We think it's important to have that. We still will need some people to come in with very specific skills for the need of the economy, but we think it's important to have that annual limit.
How can you stop the influx of foreign workers that are taking jobs away from UK citizens?
Well, around 9 out of 10, in fact over 9 out of 10 people who are working in Britain are British nationals. And we have also introduced this Australian points-based system, and what that does is look at people's skills and says, well, okay, if people have got very high skills that we don't have in Britain, well then there may be a case for people to come from outside Europe into the country, but actually what we should be doing is making sure that anywhere where you've got people who've got British workers who've got those skills, they should be able to go for the jobs first, and I think that's really important. That's already helped to bring the level of net migration down, and is also helping people who are looking for jobs be able to get work, especially when they've got the skills to do those jobs.